And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Culp. I'm your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Hope you are having a good day. Guess what? In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, tariffs, BS, and everything else that comes with it. And boy, oh boy, there's a lot of it being spewed, and we have to cover it. It's muy importante to you and your businesses. And remember, we have no agenda, ulterior motive, or bias. We are not R or D. We went I a very long time ago, and more libertarian as the days go on. We believe in government. We don't believe in this government. Simple as that. Overreach, overdone, overtaxed. Oh yes, overtaxed, overspend, overdebt, over deficits, and all that crap. Hey, and if you don't get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. Also, you can watch it on Biz TV. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. Oh, by the way, all the podcast apps picks up the show also. Thank you for joining us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing a yeoman's job for you by starting the show with the markets. But I have to tell you, the Dow was down 11 and the NASDAQ was down 2. That was your day. It was much worse earlier. The important thing that happened towards the end of the day is the banks turn red. What's very important today? No, I take it back. What's kind of important today is you had a reversal today. Remember yesterday, 3-1. Positive. Advanced declines today. 1,289 up. 2,899 down on the New York. 1,398 up on the NASDAQ. A big 2,943 down. The small and mid caps that were really strong for a couple of days. They took it on the chin today, but I'll give you some good news. I went through all of them. I didn't see really any damage, just things like up 3, down 1. If it worsens, we'll let you know. Same areas to avoid. There's a few areas that are starting to fall apart a little bit. We've talked to you about the software stocks. A lot of them just I also have to tell you some of these, they're called contract manufacturers. The symbols are JBL, FN, CLS, VRT, and others. Those are coming in pretty good. They're starting to hit some of those construction names for the data centers. And who knows which ones are which anyhow. They're coming in. So there's a little bit of distribution, but nothing bad. Also today, well, a change of complexion from yesterday in that the mega caps were mostly up today while they hit everything else. Yesterday, my left screen was completely green. Today, it was pretty much completely red. And those are the stocks that have already been hit hard, are in trouble, all that crap. A few other things of note before I want to get into the tariffs because, oh yes, we told you so. So just letting you know that Amazon was up $6 today. Amazon gapped down on earnings, very poor. Defended at very important support. Bounced around, had a very good day today. You know what didn't have a good day yesterday and today? Symbol CART. You know what that is? Well, they call it Maple Bear, but it's Instacart. What happened? Amazon's getting in their business. Well, let me put it better. Is going much more into the delivery of groceries. So a lot of that goes on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what capitalism is all about. Competition. You see somebody doing something, you think you can do it better, faster, cheaper, you go at it. And that's what happened with the Amazon today. Just want to let you know, and I bring up Amazon because it's a top 5 name in the NASDAQ 100 and also the S&P. But overall today, a lot of red. I really don't have much to say. I've been going and scanning. I didn't see a lot of breakdowns. I will tell you that China strong yesterday gives a bunch back today. And, I watch Alibaba Alibaba gaps up yesterday, right back down today type of thing. Very tough. Not easy. Gold pulled back a little bit. Gold miners a little bit. No big deal. What was interesting today is they really hit the Bitcoin. So last night, I'm hanging with Winston, and we're doing some things. And, I go on certain areas to see the tenor of what people are thinking. And at the close yesterday, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. But I noticed on social media, people were in a lather over it. A lather! Like I've never seen. Target this, target that. Bitcoin opens up and down about 4% today. Tomorrow's another day. Just letting you know. I also want to tell you about MicroStrategy in case you don't know. This is basically a leveraged Bitcoin hedge fund now. What they do is they put out stock to buy Bitcoin. They borrow money to buy Bitcoin. I just want to let you know, those people that have MicroStrategy better be watching that closely. Do you know why? It ain't keeping up with Bitcoin anymore. And I'm just wondering if there is now a component of this is lunacy. We'll see. Not sure. Just letting you know in real time. And we're just talking about the stock, the MSTR. It just, again, not keeping up in any way, shape, or form. Anything else stick out today? Well, yeah. Got a lot of emails from people on bullish. Yes, they came out with a stock called Bullish. And I just repeated to you yesterday, we're not making any predictions. We're just telling you that a lot of IPOs are opening hot, and people, if they bought the hotness, are getting killed. And we don't know what the next one's going to do. All we can tell you, that one, they had it up to $145 yesterday and closed it at $69 in the same day. It was up $6 today as somehow a bunch of analysts came out and talked about it today. Oh, it's good, no worries. Interesting, huh? I saw that today. Trying to save the day. Anyway, just be careful. I'm just seeing a bunch of others that are just blown up. Fig. They were in a lather over that. I think they opened up at 85, hit 143 the next day. It's 76. That's down in the 40s in 6 days. And again, these are not comments on the companies. We're talking about the stocks and the characteristics of this market right now. And we're seeing a lot of hot opens on the IPOs. And they're getting smoked. I also want to bring up a couple of names that were hot as hot can be. Remember that CoreWeave? Well, what we tell you is you got to be careful about it was a hot, listen, this was a great IPO. Wish I bought it when it came out. It kind of broke out at $60, went all the way to 187 in about 6, 7, 8 weeks. And then fell back to 100. In the days subsequent to the earnings reports, went from 100 to 150 in 5 days. It's 99 today. It closed at 149 2 days ago, right before earnings. It gapped down yesterday, followed through again today. It's gone from 150 to 99.5 in 2 days. It's gone from 187 to 99 since the highs. Another loss. And again, we are not talking about the company. We're just telling you it's another money-losing company, and you got to be careful right now. Then there's the Circle Internet. They really lost a lot of money. That was, I guess they opened it up at 90, went to 300. It's 139. Are you adding up the numbers? You adding up the percentages? And I bring this up, and maybe you don't follow what I follow, but boy, oh boy, they have been in a lather over these stocks. The pundits have been coming out, jumping all over each other. Why? Because they were moving. Not caring about valuation or where it was 3 days ago. And again, we have made no predictions on them except to say the characteristics of. So just, these are warning shots for you. There's a lot of money being lost on hot IPOs. And most of them are the money losers. And that's the other worry. We always worry when every IPO that comes out, or almost every IPO that comes out, is losing money. It tells me they have lowered the bar on what's brought out, and I think that's on the problematic side. The other thing I'm noticing, a lot of crypto crap, and that worries me too. The last bear market, 75% down. Up next, what else we got for you? And the tariffs. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So we're just giving you a little bit of, little things that are going on in the market. I think the good news is the banks finished well today. I think the good news is, even though the advanced declines were terrible, normally I would tell you, oh, that's troublesome. I'm not there just yet. I think what you had is 2 strong days had to pull back. They pulled back the housing and the housing related today. They pulled back the retail. They pulled back most of the they pulled back all the small and mid caps, though they were off the lows of the day also. We'll see what happens. I also want to let you know that they come out after today on new ownership of Warren Buffett and others. It's come out that Warren Buffett bought Lennar and D.R. Horton, so he bought a couple of housing stocks. And by the way, I noticed Lennar closed at 130.5. I got it at 135 at the close after the market. So there's a little bit of follow the Warren Buffett after the close. He bought a couple of home builders. I don't know if that's initial buys, but he bought them. And of course, things he sells kind of sort of goes down. Sold more Apple. Don't know if that's going to be effective. They own so much anyhow. And I'm looking at some others right now and seeing some moves based on that. And then, of course, you got earnings reports. Applied Materials coughed one up again and is down. Whoa, is that correct? Applied Materials is down $21 in the aftermarket. That is not good. That is one of those very much so. Yep. KLAC's down $40. Should be an hysterical tomorrow for some of the semiconductor equipment makers. Lovely. Dang, big downside guidance. That means Lam Research is down also. That's down 6%, but well, it's 6%. Okay. Who's the one who has been telling you they really should not be spiking the football on tariffs? Oh, that was me. Who's the one that's been telling you all this talk about, oh, hey, the tariffs haven't caused inflation? I've been saying, well, they better be careful about that. Oh, that was me. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. We're trying to teach you something that you need to know, because what you get from one side is they'll just tell you everything Trump does is bad. They will tell you Trump caused the San Francisco earthquake, the Chicago fire, and the Ebola virus. The other side will tell you he parted the seas. You know that, right? So we're just letting you know the Trump side has been telling you, told you so, look at the markets, this inflation number that just came out on the consumer side, everything's just fine. And maybe it is. But by definition, tariff is a cost. Tariff is a cost. Somebody pays it. Forget who. Somebody pays the cost. And who pays it? It is the entity that brings in. And as we have told you, the president lies, and he knows, when he says that all this money is coming into the country with tariffs. No, all this money is being paid for by our companies here. It's a fact. It's not even a gray area. Not that we're giving you the definition. Of course, we've also told you that these companies can try to hammer it out with the country that's sending the stuff in. Sure. Or the companies can pass it on to the consumer, or they can cheat. You know how they cheat. Well, China sends something to Canada that sends it over to Taiwan. You get the hint. Well, the producer price index came out today, and it was way up in the trees. Doesn't matter what the number is. You go look. Way up in the trees. An inflation number. And what did the apologists come out and say? Well, you got to look at management fees because the market's up. No, that's small potatoes. What's happened is our company. What did we tell you? Apple paid $1.9 billion in the last quarter and this quarter in tariffs, taxes. That's inclusive. Ford paid a bunch. So let me give you the bad news and the good news. Bad news is the 10-year yield, which was down 0.3 early today, was up 0.55 at the close today. And we don't want to see that go higher. We're not predicting anything. For all we know, it backs right back down. We're just letting you know, numbers came out today that said somebody's paying the tariffs. And the left is happy. They're happy. They want to see a bad economy and inflation so they win the midterms. You should see they were in glee today. The apologists for Trump, no, don't worry, everything's good. That's why we do this show, to put them all aside, because they don't care about you. They're more important protecting their side. And just so you know, we're rooting for Trump. We want him to do good things, but just a lot of BS being spewed. I saw one pundit for Trump saying, oh, it's going to be bad if the judges come out and get rid of the tariffs. No, tariffs suck. They are a tax hike. And for a president that says tax cuts are good, tax hikes are bad, well, you want to explain? We'll keep you posted. Here's the good news. The market came back today. I think the Dow today, at one time today, the Dow was 44,690. Dow was down about 220, finished down 11. And you know what came back today? The banks. The world ain't ending if banks are better. So that's good news. And maybe they're seeing through this, and let me be clear, maybe this is a one note. I'm not saying it isn't. Maybe the number comes right back down next month. I don't know. The good news is he didn't fire anybody today for this bad number, like he did for the other number on the jobs. You know what we thought of that. So that's the story on tariffs. I do not, let me be clear, we have never had these higher tariffs in ages, so I really don't know the outcome. Maybe we absorb it. Maybe. I'm all for it. We're rooting for them. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So let's see. There's a lot of jello moving on the plate in the aftermarket. First off, Warren Buffett takes a position in Lennar, closed at 130.5. I got it 135.80. Good. Takes a position in DR Horton, closed at 163.90, 168.80. That would mean that the ETFs are only up not that much. Let me see if other home builders were up. I'll just pick out, let's pick out Toll Brothers. No, just up a little bit. On the other end of the spectrum, this is of note, a big blow up in Applied Materials. And in case you don't know, these are the semiconductor equipment companies. They make semiconductors, and they warned and lowered guidance. And the question is, so what's going on there? So, and they usually go hand in hand. So Applied Materials closed at 188. It's 168, which has KLA 10 core. Get this, 955 down to 904. This is aftermarket, which could change. Lam Research has gone from 107.5 to 101. Let me see if there are any others. Not that one. How about MKSI? If I can find it. If I don't have butterfingers, 104 down to 100 on that one. And we'll see what happens overnight. But that's 2 in a row. 2 in a row that it gagged. 2 in a row for Applied Materials. What that means overall, I will have to go through them numbers and I will let you know. But that's kind of the story. I'm looking at I don't see others yet I need to comment on as far as, David Tepper. Let's see. Wow. He bought Intel. Interesting. Now, a little story on Intel. By the way, Intel 2380 at the close is now 2470. But there's another story on Intel today. And again, I'm not happy about this. I don't know what you think. I'm sure plenty of you or some of you disagree. I am not happy that the president is using our tax policy, tariffs, and I'm surprised he's able to go to companies and say, either you spend money here or build here, or we are going to tax your ass. You do know that Apple just bent the knee, right? And all of a sudden, exemptions for Apple. Taiwan Semi, exemptions. The latest news that had Intel up today, $1.64 to $23.86 before the news in the aftermarket. Intel spikes on headlines. The Trump administration is floating the United States taking a stake in the company. I don't want that. It's none of your business. This shouldn't be. Oh, wait a minute, Gary. Hasn't it happened before? A little bit. And I was against that also. You know, the U.S. took stakes in the banks. Covered their criminal asses. So just letting you know, Intel, lighten up like a pinball machine. Also. And in case you don't know, David Tepper's with Appaloosa. I believe he owns the Charlotte football team still. He bought a little Delta UAL, and those stocks have been hot. And I'm looking at what he sold, and I'll look later to see if those things got hit after. He did sell some Chinese names. He was a big proponent of Chinese. Sold Alibaba down, sold JD down. Yeah, we'll see what else. Anyway, that's a lot of aftermarket, ladies and gentlemen, based on a lot of jello moving on the plate. Some very important companies that manage money. I'm looking at Dan Loeb now. That's another one. All right, I'm done with that. Anyway, I hope you understand my tariff thoughts. Again, on the bad news, yields went up. On the good news, the market just shot a certain finger at yields and came back, though advanced declines were pretty pitiful today. Though, as I scanned the things that were down, I didn't see much damage, except there were more blow-ups in the market as usual. Coherent, COHR blew up. And now, of course, the Applied Materials, KLAC, and that crap. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And then there's earnings. So I've whined and complained about things like Caterpillar and Deere. How are these stocks going up? I don't get it. Deere's earnings last 4 quarters, minus 45, minus 60, minus 22, minus 24 revenues, minus 28, minus 30, minus 16, minus 9. Oh, gee, an improvement. Well, they finally hit Deere today, $35. But didn't affect Caterpillar. It was up today. And Caterpillar, their numbers, minus 6, minus 2, minus 24, minus 21. So it's been worsening there. So I don't know what the heck's going on with some of these. But I will tell you this. And this is a blanket statement. for a lot of these companies that stocks have done well, came back from the Trump tariff crash and came back and at near highs, if not more. If their earnings did not improve, do not improve going forward, that means this and earnings going down, that means valuations skyrocket for those companies. Imagine earnings down markedly, but stock price up. So if earnings recover, terrific. All for it. Notice we're not predicting. But if earnings don't recover or even worsen, it leaves you with very, very high valuations. Just talking. A few bits of tidbits, as we say. And there's some tariff talk. Just letting you know. The trade deal with the European Union, we're paying 15% tariffs now to buy most of European goods, but 50% tariffs to buy European steel, aluminum, or copper, which will drive up material costs for industries here. Again, something we're watching. By the way, there's nobody that can email me or argue these numbers. These are all facts based on Donald Trump in the White House. Also, during Trump's first 4 years, every study that's been done on the tariffs found that 80% of the China tariff costs were eaten by U.S. entities. China absorbed about 20%. Just letting you know what happened in the past. How about this? The trade deal with Japan now puts Ford and GM at a competitive disadvantage. They will pay 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican parts and 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum. Think about that. Just letting you know. We're just working through things. We're finding things and just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But of course, the president have changed the numbers several times. We're going based on numbers of today. And of course, the talk by the president that we are getting rich off the tariffs, it doesn't make us any richer. It's just redistributing wealth from corporations to the U.S. government. And you know how good they are efficiently and effectively. And of course, they took victory laps over last month that had a $28 billion surplus. That was June. July, $291 billion deficit. And you know what they aren't talking about now? The July deficit, but they were certainly talking up to June. So we're just giving you some facts. Why? Because we are on the lookout, because we have never had tariff policy. Well, I take that back. We have not had tax policy like this in ages, and we've never had a situation. Brazil? Tariffs? Because Brazil's being mean to the last president? What the hell's with that? That has nothing to do with trade. So while the apologists are telling you everything is going to be fine, we're stating facts. And keep our fingers crossed that they will be fine. We'd be all for it. Up next. Yeah, whatever else. Thanks for being here. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, father's going to be in the hospital for a bit. Resting comfortably, but that's the best way I can put it. As a son who goes on Google almost every other day and just to see the average male lifespan in the United States, that's a 78, and my father's going to be 94 in October. And you say to yourself, boy, what a win. It still does nothing to help out the psyche, knowing that more than likely we are closer. And I'm trying to get my head around it. And, my mom kind of deteriorated quickly. I didn't have a chance to think. I took my mom to the Lion King a month before Thanksgiving, the night she passed. And about 6 weeks. And she was okay. 91, not easy. But she had like this little mini stroke. And she had to have surgery. And she came out of surgery good, but just deteriorated so quick. But with my father, it has been a slowly but surely type thing that I've watched and watched and watched. And I pull out pictures of my father when he was young. I told you that he almost made the Yankees. He was a great athlete. I remember when I was a kid, we used to play in North Miami Beach, on the streets of North Miami Beach, tag football. And he was fast as can be. And then you see now and you're like, whoa. And you just realize, and same, by the way, I'm in my 60s now. I still act like I'm 18, but I can tell it's tougher. Stay in shape, kids. That's all I can say. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I get pissed off that I even take a cholesterol drug. I don't like taking any pills. I work out. I do everything possible to make sure you fight age. Because, man, it comes on. Anyway, I'm just letting you know that whew. And like last night, Winston woke me up at 3:30 in the morning. And, you never want to go to your phone at 3:30 in the morning because you start going to your phone. But I went and I started looking at pictures of him, and that was it. Anyway, just letting you know. Do I even segue now from that? Where did $100 million in fire aid money go? LA wildfire survivors are demanding answers. In case you don't know, after those LA fires, they did a fire aid concert. Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, Katy Perry, Rod Stewart, Stevie Wonder, and the rest. And they raised an estimated $100 million. It was hailed as a triumph of celebrity-driven charity, but months later, many locals were wondering where the hell the money is. Some of those impacted by the fires recently told Fox 11 Los Angeles they expected to hear from the organization or see benefits in some way, shape, or form. So independent journalists have gone and started digging, and what they are finding out. She started calling the foundation because the organization was supposedly sort of in charge of the grant process, which is the Annenberg Foundation. And after several failed attempts, she heard back from someone who told her to talk to the media spokesperson for fire aid. So they called the media spokesperson and was told that 100 groups got the money. And guess what they're finding out? They can't find the money. They find out that some of the groups got the money that are food organizations. Some went to LA County, city foundations, a company that cleans preschool bathrooms. There was money that went to the Native California Voter Organization. There's a bunch of the money that went to immigrants for whatever reason. And then some NGOs, the nonprofits created by politicians that try to screw everybody. So we're just letting you know, California at it again. That communist government, not the people, looks like they stole a crap load of the $100 million. And you know how you know they did? Because nobody's coming out and talking about it. And now, Fire Aid is hiring a law firm to conduct a comprehensive review of the governments in the grant-making process. But so far, the group claims it has given $75 million to 160 organizations, and people got nothing. Just letting you know. People reached out to some of these organizations that supposedly received money. They got no answers back, no replies. They screwed the victims of the fires. And do you hear the governor talking about it, looking into it? Ladies and gentlemen, some of these people in government hate you. California, I think they hate the citizens. What have I always told you about California? If I took it over, double the revenue, and people running into California instead of running to Texas from California or to Florida. Attorney General Rob Bonta's office in California, if they wanted comment, did not receive a reply. The Attorney General would not reply to a missing $100 million from celebrity-based raising of money for victims of fire. 11,000 home dwellings were destroyed in the fires. By the way, the mayor of Los Angeles hasn't said a frickin' word either. Why do we bring this up to you? Oh, because Gavin Newsom is going to be running for president in 28. Karen Bass is still the mayor of L.A. And we care about California in this country. And we don't want control-freak communist thieves running the country. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. It's quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You'll feel better. I promise. Stay well. Be well. Always, thanks for joining us. Peace out. Good night.